Well, call the meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have a motion to approve the financial report. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Deason to approve the financial report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Approve the April 11th, 2022 meeting minutes. There's a correction in there. Approval of the April 11th meeting minutes. Someone want to make a motion to approve it or not?
So moved.
Second. Can we carry it down?
Motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Deason to approve the April 11th, 2022 meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed 5-0.
It's a good time to bring up that it looks like all of our minutes are now on the website.
Mm-hmm. Yep, except for the April, and I was waiting for them to be approved, and
Right. Again, that's the part of the open meeting law. They don't really seem to give a damn if we approve it. It's because the clerk, but they suggest that you do it draft and then approve.
yeah, it's on
So-
Instagram.
So it looks good. 220 and now all the ones you've done in 2022, they read right in order. Some of the other ones, because of difference in the names of the
Mhm.
files, they read out of order. If you ever take another pass, I'd look into putting those back in order. You can throw
Add it to
something
my
in.
list.
No, I
I'll
am
work on it.
amazed.
Okay, general fund abstract number 4, correction.
That one is in the abstract for this month, so it must have got tacked to the back. If it had sparred, this was not missing, the staple caught on another voucher. Now, I was just thinking about that. The way we go through and we get them all in alphabetical order. Then we have to separate them via what the accounts are. Now, if that thing got attached to a different account, we didn't look for that. We looked through the A's. Now, what I don't understand, and they finally just wore me down, is we get them in overall alphabetical order, mixed by account number. Then we separate them into alphabetical order by account number, and we turn them back that way. So why do it that way in the first place? Because are they now going back and reassembling them in alphabetical order on mixed? We might want to ask that question of them again. Because I can now see where I looked for it, Barb, you looked for it, but you only looked in the A's, right, the
Yeah.
town hall.
Yeah.
What if they, we'll have to ask, were they attached to highway? Did they get? But that could be a way that they travel.
Yes, and this month was confusing as well, but everything is there,
Yep.
so.
Sorry, I might be
It's
a little
weird.
ignorant, but what are you guys talking about, general fund abstract?
All right, what we do is we have to approve the bills. So you get a abstract, which is this right here, that lists what the bills are, and then you'll notice before the meeting, we go through and we check the bills, check the account number generally, and approve the invoice. So now how we used to get them is they would be separated by both account number and in alphabetical order, and the abstract was in alphabetical order, and you could go through them very readily. Now how we get them, and it's probably a carryover from how they do things in Batavia, we get them in overall alphabetical order regardless of account number. We separate them and then we send them back to them separated in that fashion. And I was making the point that when that separation occurred, perhaps that's where the invoice traveled. So then, if you recall, at the end of the meeting, we make a motion, second, and vote on each of the general categories of invoices. And we'll do that tonight on the same group.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
So the correction is
That's
part of the,
Yeah, it's part of
Part
this
of-
month's business.
okay.
Yep.
Resolution 20. I'll read this again. Resolution 20, adopting local law number 1 of 2022, whereas proposed local law number 1 of 2022 of the town of Stafford entitled prohibiting parking on roads within the town of Stafford from November 15th through April 15th between the hours of 12 p.m. and 6 a.m., which proposed local law in its final form was presented to the town board at a meeting held on April 11th, 2022, and a copy thereof was kept with the town clerk, and copies both laid on the desk of the members of said town board members, and mailed to each member of the town board members not in attendance at said meeting. And whereas a public hearing on the advisability of enacting said proposed local law was held on May 9th, 2022, before this town board pursuant to public notice duly published in the Daily News according to law, at which time all interested persons were heard. And whereas pursuant to Part 617.4B2 of the implementing regulations pertaining to Article 8, State Environmental Quality Review Act, it has been determined by the town board of said town that adoption of said proposed local law is a type 2 action, in that the adoption of parking regulations would not have a significant effect on the environment and could be processed without further regard to seeker. And whereas the town board of the town of Stafford is of the opinion that the adoption of said proposed local law number 1 of 2022 is in the best interest of the town of Stafford, New York, and now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Stafford, New York, that said proposed local law number 1 of 2022 be and the same hereby is adopted. And be it further resolved that a certified copy of said local law number 1 of 2022 be filed with the New York Secretary of State in accordance with law dated May 9th, 2022. Any questions, discussion about this?
Yeah, that has to be changed from at 6 p.m., has to be midnight to 6 a.m.
Yeah, it's, on this one,
Oh,
it's
okay.
from,
Is there a motion to approve this?
So move. Second.
Motion by Councilman Pacer, second by Councilman Deason. Roll call.
Councilman Deason,
Yes.
Councilman Mullen,
Yes.
Councilman Pacer,
Yes.
Councilman Panic,
Yes.
Supervisor Clement,
Yes. Passed 5-0. That's item number 6. Mike Anderson, is he here?
is that it?
Yeah,
Just that one.
yeah, we did that.
Okay, we're doing it. Sorry.
PW Solar, questions to the town board.
Yes, so as many of you know, we were at the zoning board last month and we received our variances. I'm sure it looks like we're gonna be talking about that later on. I believe that's item number 14, I'm guessing.
No, that's a different subject.
Oh, okay. Now that we have the footprint of the array identified as to where we can operate, based on those variances, we are gonna actively work to make sure our application is complete and ready for the board to review. And begin the normal seeker process, send it on to the planning board, whatever next steps are. One question I did have in terms of making sure our application is complete and for review was there's two elements of the law. One is the $150,000 in escrow account. We are asking that there be some type of agreement as to how that is administered. In other towns, we typically have a fee agreement where bills can be reviewed by both parties, and there's an arbitration method if there's expenditures that don't fall within the parameters of the project. It's pretty standard to have when we are paying those bills, so our request would be that when we do set up the escrow account, if there could also be that type of agreement. I do have an example of one that we've used in Genesee County for our other two projects as well, for the board to review and also your attorney. Ironically, the attorney in Pavilion and your attorney are the same one. He's the attorney representing Pavilion for the project we're doing there. So just making sure that when we do set that up, that there are some types of checks and balances. It is a rather large amount of money for a project review. Typically for a 5 or 10 megawatt project, we see around the 25,000 mark for engineering and lawyer fees, but I understand there's, a little bit higher scrutiny on this project in this town. So we do plan on meeting that burden, just hoping that we can find a way to make sure that whatever is spent can be agreed upon with both parties and there's some form of tracking. The second item, as I've said from the very beginning, the 2,500 foot real property portion, we are hoping that we can work with the town to discuss having that removed and some type of alternatives put into place to help buffer the neighbors. As I've said in the past, that's one element of the law that it just is not something we've ever seen in New York, and so we will be requesting that be removed.
I don't think anybody realized that 2,500 feet's a half a mile.
Yeah, it's a long distance. It's a
Carries right on into the town of Byron.
oh yeah, Byron, Batavia. It's a distance for sure.
Yeah,
But that's the
I don't
law,
think-
isn't it? That's the law, though, isn't it?
Well, that's where, that's,
It is or isn't?
It's not a public hearing.
no.
So our request is to review that piece of it. We are actively reviewing the town's law right now. In other towns, there are mechanisms like a waiver where the town board, instead of changing a law, you have the right to waive portions of it with a supermajority vote. We are looking to see if that's something you guys have in your law. I don't believe I ever saw it. But our attorneys are reviewing to see if that's a mechanism to make it a little bit easier for that piece to come out, so you don't have to change your law. But we will be looking to discuss that with you in the near future. Our hope is that what we've done in other towns is usually a representative of the board, usually the supervisor or deputy supervisor, or chairman of the board, would jump on a call with us, our attorney, your attorney, and discuss what our options are. Obviously, this is an element of the law that is a non-starter for us. It would, in essence, kill the project. So we would be looking at what recourses we have if we can't find a way to either remove it or put other, I guess, barriers in place that the town finds amenable. So my hope is that sometime between now and next meeting is we could jump on a call with our attorneys and at least a representative from the board, and figure out if there are different ways in which we could approach the 2,500 foot piece.
Great.
And I do have, real quick, just a sample agreement that I mentioned for the $150,000 escrow piece. Just get this out real quick. A copy of this. And again, this would be language that would help us just define the parameters of the $150,000 and how it's tracked and monitored.
Now with the, again, this is really no different than the planned unit development that we have with Tony Cole going in, and even for that, your project dwarfs in value what his is, and that still requires a $100,000, what do you call it, to pay for the engineering studies and like that. Now for that one, we hired Steve Mountain, which Tony has to pay for.
Yeah.
Would we do the same thing again here? We don't have an engineering department.
No. Hire Steve to do it.
No, I'm simply saying somebody like Steve.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But it's identical.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing the purpose of it. We typically pay for the engineering costs for third parties in other towns along with legal fees. Typically MRB is the group, the engineering firm that represents municipalities. They've reviewed all of our projects here in Genesee County, all of our projects in Ontario County, and a few others. Obviously it's your prerogative who you choose to review. I only suggest them because they reviewed some of our others, and again, but your choice. My only concern is $150,000 is a lot of money. It's not a small amount of money, and just making sure that there's oversight that things are being spent appropriately is mainly the only purpose for the agreement you see before us. 9 times out of 10, when there isn't an escrow account set up like this, typically the town will just send us invoices saying our engineering firm did $20,000 worth of work. We review it and say, okay, we pay them. Same thing with attorney fees. They typically just send us a bill directly. And unless there's something outlandish, that's only happened once. That was down in Allegheny County. And that was the attorney for the IDA was trying to charge us like $95,000 for 3 weeks worth of work. It was pretty wild.
Dan, you're submitting 2 applications, correct?
Yes.
That could be $150,000 twice.
In theory, I would be hard pressed to understand how the town would need $300,000 to review plans that don't cost $150,000.
But you're the one
To generate?
setting up 2 applications and 2 projects, not us.
Sure.
It's something we gotta think about.
Yes. As a technicality, sure.
You made this technicality.
Yes, we legally have to have two separate entities for the purpose of the project. So you're not wrong in that regard. But typically for just common sense purposes, if you have a surveying company go out and survey one parcel, you're gonna do it at the same time. You know, it's a multiplier of construction and resources. You know, the more you're doing at once, the cheaper it typically is. I would find it hard pressed for a really to have $150,000 per 5 megawatt would be a stretch in my mind. I would hope that the town would work with us in setting that up. If that's something you don't feel is reasonable and feel we have to have $150,000 per 5 megawatts, we could look into that. But as you can imagine, it's a pretty big ask.
I'm bringing it up, it just is a topic of discussion right now.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just so nobody's blindsided later.
Definitely.
Any further questions? Do you have anything further for the board?
Not at this time. I know we do have to resubmit a few documents that had some typos in them. So we're working to make sure that we identify those with a cover page to show exactly where they were, where they occurred. And mark them basically just like a legal document where we're redlining what was there and replacing what was supposed to be there, so that everyone doesn't have to, you know, wade through 500 pages and figure out where the mistake was. So we should have a cover page for that, along with all the requirements for the application to be deemed complete. You know, Councilman Muller's point, I would like to talk further about if $150,000 would suffice for both projects, or if, you know, technically we would have to have $300,000, $150,000 for each, in each account. I would like to discuss that a little bit further.
Okay. Anything further?
And that's probably would be best discussed, whether we hire an engineering firm or just Steve to lead it.
Yeah.
It's a good question for him. He can get himself organized that way.
Okay. All right. Hanson grant for the flag project. Are you familiar with the fact that we were intending to put some flags up on poles in the hamlet here? And Hanson was going to finance that, but they did not do that. So we're back to grade 1 on, or page 1 on that one. Item number 10, 25, surplus equipment. Steve?
Looking at selling the 07 International truck and a 9500 turn plow and the 07 stainless sander that goes in that truck. We're going to keep the plow and the wing and all that stuff back, because that's what's going on the new truck, because it's how we kept the cost down, but it's
All right, is this the first one
the very
leaving
first.
us that has a stainless steel bed on it?
Yep, it's the very first truck I bought.
All right. Now, I guess we have to offset, are the beds, I thought the idea of getting, one of the possibilities with a stainless steel bed was that you could move it from truck to truck. But then the truck isn't worth nothing
Right,
without the bed set up on it.
so,
So, no, this will be a good,
yeah.
so your strategy is, and it's hard to argue with a guy that can get 65,000 for that Sterling. But this is a good test to see which way we should go. How much is the stainless steel bed on the new one?
About 24, it was. I'd have to double check, because they've had so many jumps in the last year.
Yeah, so think back, there was a $40,000 difference between what you got for our Sterling and what Alabama got for their Mac.
Oh, yeah.
Similar equipped.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking your strategy may be best.
Presentation too.
Yeah,
As
it's
long
all,
as they all look,
they're all shined up. I mean, the guys cleaned them up real nice. So.
Well, plus the following. He's got that following in the southern tier. And boy, from working down there, I keep repeating it, there is more rolling junk in the southern tier than I've ever seen. So, all right, you satisfied?
We'll
my
hope for the best,
curiosity?
you know? That's all we can do.
I make a motion to approve resolution 25, selling off surplus equipment.
roll call vote.
Okay, roll call. Councilman Mullen,
Yes.
Councilman Janik,
Yes.
Councilman Deason,
Yes.
Councilman Pacer,
Yes.
Supervisor Clement.
Yes. Approved. 5-0.
Could we take a step back to the flag item again? So
Yeah.
Hanson said no, right?
Yeah.
I know, when I was working in Clifton Springs, List paid for their, they went with all their veterans, they had the pictures and they turned them into band, and it was pretty expensive, but List has got deep pockets. Do you think we should see if, Schofield wants a shot at this, sponsoring it?
You can ask him.
Is anybody tight with them?
Yeah, I can do that. Go ahead.
If not, something for next year, you know?
Right.
Did Linda ever get a price on those flags?
Yeah,
Did she
we
ever
did.
submit them? Linda Snell?
Yeah,
Isn't she the one that brought the
Yeah.
flag thing up?
yeah. I think she had a price on them, I don't have it.
I don't have it, because it was going up again because of COVID and all that, so she never gave me a final
Like
price.
everything else, the price that you had a couple of years ago,
Last week was different than this one.
Yeah, she didn't give me a final price.
so you've got a copy of that. haven't
So Jimmy, you'll see if there's some interest?
I just wrote it down.
you? Okay.
Yeah, we could brackets through the, we could make brackets through the winter. That's what the town of Byron did. Just took some flat metal
Yeah, hang on.
and laid them on the pole.
Makes
It
it,
would be an easy,
makes it look right out of sign material.
Yeah.
signpost material, that's rugged stuff.
Yeah,
Ever try to
Byron,
cut that stuff with a hacksaw?
Byron made all that.
Okay. Next item is historian's choice.
So, last Monday, the 2nd, Linda, Call, and I had conversation. I was dealing with COVID, so we had conversation over the phone. And we come to an agreement on who we would choose for the position, but I have to interview that person yet. That person's had dealing with something with health right now, and I just holding off a couple of weeks till I can get together.
Okay,
So, but we're close.
all right,
Yeah.
good enough. Resolution 12. No, resolution 26.
26.
Sorry about that. Item number 12. Transfer of funds from tax contractual to deputy clerk. You wanna give us a little rundown on this?
The there was some money left over in the tax contractual. I didn't use it all. And it was offered by one of the councilmen last month that we could possibly use that money towards deputy clerk pay because I still have a lot of, I don't know how to say it, nitty-gritty work that needs to be done. And with the taxes, I used almost half of my clerk pay to help with taxes. So, there was $2,400 left in the account. And I'm only asking for 2,000 of that for my deputies because 400 I'm going to need in November for postage to get the taxes out next year. Rather than going over in a budget, transfer at the end of the year. I'm hoping to get $2,000 to add to my clerk pay so that they can help me more, get things more organized than they are.
Any questions? Authorizing budget transfers for resolve, the Stafford Town Board hereby authorizes the following budget transfers. General fund from A 1330.4 to A 1410.12 in the amount of $2,000. Your
Second.
Thank you.
Motion by Councilman Pacer, second by Councilman Mullen, authorizing the above budget transfers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Barb, did you go back and compare what the dollar amount was for deputies in 218 and 219? Because then, without with the taxes being done by the county, the demand for that dropped way off.
Mm-hmm.
So you have in 218, you had primarily Walt did the taxes.
Yes.
And then in 219, if I recall, the entire budget was spent by half year.
Mm-hmm. And it was a bigger budget than what I had to begin with.
So
And then
when
she
we
got
get
half that
ready
back.
to do the next budget,
Mhm.
let's make sure we take those into account
Oh, okay.
when we look at what the proper staffing should be for the assistants.
Yes, thank you.
Next item is Uniform Justice Court Act audit from Creed Mexico. I'll read this. This is directed, this is part of New York State Office of Court Administration. Attention, Joan Kazaza, Internal Control Liaison, 2500 Pondview, Suite LL 01. Castleton on Hudson, New York, 12033. Dear Ms. Kazaza, the letter is in regard to section 2419A of the Uniform Justice Court Act. We have performed auditing procedures in accordance with the checklist provided by the Office of State Controller for the town of Stafford court system. However, we have not issued a separate audit report for the Justice Court system. Any questions or comments, please feel free to contact Nicole Ryan. That's what Street Max said. That's,
So what are they going to include it in our audit, or how are they gonna report it out?
can't tell you.
Wasn't that the company that said they were stopping the audits? They weren't doing the audits anymore?
Yeah.
So now they are?
Well, they are and they aren't. I mean, there's some things that they're not gonna do, but this, I'll have to do a follow-up on that. I have not done that, so.
You gonna include Bob Penn on there?
Yeah,
Probably be a good one
yeah.
to follow up.
Zoning Board Committee review.
Is that what that is? But that's not up to date.
No, there is the zoning and the planning board coming together and discussing what the laws, the zoning and code laws are and how they need to be uniform and revamped. That's not this.
Yeah, this is just all the,
That's just the solar project.
yeah,
That's not it.
it's kind of an FYI.
This is a follow-up from what you guys discussed last month.
Any further discussion on it?
My suggestion would be get together with Mike Latham and Bill Van Outs, because there seems to be difference in opinion on how we staff it, from what I can gather from
I was
the
kind of assuming that they were gonna be here. I didn't personally invite them tonight. They should be. Anyway,
We have good boards, so I don't want to take a chance of,
well, yeah,
so let's hear out what they have.
all right. Well, I'll make sure they're here. I guess I assumed that they were going to be here.
Or we could go to them, they're,
Gotta
want
be
to do it
careful.
during a planning. Yeah, we have to be careful if there's too many of us.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We've learned that. Who wants to do that? Silence.
You and me?
Yeah, we can. All right. We will attend both.
Yeah, everybody else saw the emails, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We've got the most history about it, zoning.
Can we ask how they want the committee set up?
Two and two.
Yeah.
2 board members, 2 board members, 2 board members.
No one from the public? No one from the community?
Audience.
No one from the community, I'm sorry you said?
No. I mean, you can attend the meetings, but,
Can't say nothing, huh? So,
yeah.
Yeah, any meeting like that's open to the public.
but what good's having a meeting to open to the public if the public can't speak? I guess is one of my questions. I got shot down by asking a question.
There will come a time when you'll be,
But why are some people asking questions and can do it and other people's can't?
That's true.
I mean, this happened to me twice now. I got shut down twice at 2 different meetings by asking a simple little question. Where is that fair? Bob, you answer the question, not somebody else.
well, what do you want?
I want to know why is it fair?
Has this board shot you down?
He just did 10 minutes ago.
All I said is this is not a public.
Exactly, and I asked a simple little question if it was a law.
You asked the question of Dan.
No, I asked if it was a question, if it was a law. I was looking right at Bob, I go, is that a law? I didn't say, Dan, is this a law? Dan doesn't
I'm not
know.
gonna get into an argument.
Of course not, you want to shut me down again.
But nobody else here tonight has asked a question outside of the realm of the meeting.
3 people over here asked questions already. I asked one simple question, if it was a law. You couldn't say yes or no. You got to say, it's not a public meeting. Where is that right?
Well, I think
Who here agrees with me? Anybody?
I do. I mean, I think it's disrespectful to target somebody like that. I mean,
it was not a target.
You targeted me.
you just basically told him that he couldn't ask a question.
How many town boards in Genesee County allow speaking from the audience during a town board meeting? Like,
I can't answer that question. I've always had a
Yes.
very open meeting. Most town boards, you sign up, you put the subject that you want to talk about on, and you get 5 minutes.
But it's a question, it's not a comment, it's a question. We're not allowed to ask questions at these meetings?
yeah,
You got a question?
I did have a question, I got knocked down.
How did you get knocked down?
He just shot me down, we just went through this.
Shoot you down?
He didn't? He told me it's not a public meeting, you can't ask that question.
I didn't
Or
say
you
that.
didn't ask that question, okay, it's not a public meeting.
All I said is this is not a public.
And that's being shot down because you didn't answer my question. And that question was directed to you, Bob. Not to him, not to him.
Well, you can direct them, the reason is that there's not only one person at this table, there's 6 people here.
But I was asking you. I wasn't asking
You
him.
can ask me, and if I don't know the answer to it, somebody else can answer.
But you started answering it and he butted in.
All right,
All right, what? Now we're just gonna forget about it? Like everything else?
well, we
Well,
actually.
let's do, when we do when we're done, we go around the table. I have something I'd like to
Okay,
bring up.
that's fine.
Okay. Kathy, you're on the agenda.
Doesn't sound good.
I got our newsletter, and it was nice to see a newsletter came out. Can you, I guess I didn't expect it to be that big and that long, so, how much, can we ask how much that cost to put that out? Cause I went back through the proposed budget thing, and under, budgets, it has newsletter, and it had absolutely nothing allowed for it, and you keep saying there's a tight budget, so I wonder how that come about, how much it was.
Okay, the approximate cost was $585.
Okay.
Okay?
And that comes out of like what budget? Out of your contracted budget? Out of the
Probably
budget from the,
Town hall contractual, that's,
Mhm.
if we can't find any police else to take it out of, it comes out of there.
okay. Then, this wasn't on my thoughts today, but it was since I read the bulletin board. Zoning guy now only works 2 days a week?
3,
Well, the thing out posted in the hallway says 2.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
The thing that is out in the hallway, in the bulletin board, it says Wednesdays and Fridays, 8 to 2:30
For zoning,
for zoning.
okay.
Zoning, and I take it, his hours are his hours for zoning and,
Well, he's here on Mondays too.
He is, I brought that up to his attention today and I didn't get a good answer.
Oh,
No.
he's here on Mondays though.
He's here on Monday.
Yeah.
oh, okay. Because the website said he's here on Mondays, but I just happened to see that and I thought, okay,
Yeah, I did ask him.
okay. Is he gonna change it? Is he here on Mondays?
Yeah,
I
he
mean-
was,
He's here, but I didn't get an answer if he was gonna change it or not.
Oh, okay.
yeah, he was here this morning.
That's all I got.
Okay?
Oh.
Did you want more? You know, I'm really exhausted. I've had like 10 days of pure
Bliss.
not good. Yeah.
No,
So,
sorry, I understand those.
yeah. So,
Steve, you
Nope, all is good. Good as we can get.
got, yeah. Ron?
Okay, we had a deadline after the last meeting to get in our letter of intent for a grant to expand project. And I was trying to get somebody at Spectrum, which is Charter, to respond. They finally responded 4 hours before the letter of intent was due. I got the letter of intent in. Initially I got from the program manager that they wanted all kinds of detail on how the costs are broken down. And I sent back to them that since we go through Spectrum, what we did is, and I explained how, remember we took the map, we took what a estimate they did for a private party was, and used that to accumulate our costs. I simply explained it to them, and they actually came back and they said, all right, we accept your letter of intent. All right, that being said, we are asking, and I was surprised when a guy by the name of Mark Meyerhofer from Charter got a hold of me, and then did a follow-up on what the actual cost breakdowns were. What I thought was an exorbitant amount that I threw out there was at the bottom end of what their estimates are. I couldn't believe it. They are talking $50,000 to $72,000 a mile. Yeah. They're not laying water pipe, they're laying cable. Now he gets into, well, there's pole charges, there are replacement of poles, the whole 9 yards. All right. All that being said, we're fine where we are now. Now the county has got a request for them to quote county-wide, because they've got $5 million that I think they got from the state for broadband. Still going to pursue ours, but just caution everybody. It's not, we are applying to finish up the peripherals. When you look at the state scoring program, and I don't know how many people are familiar with a maturity matrix, what this is what your project, the parameters of your project are scored by how much impact, say, on your central business district, how much impact on jobs and employment. Because any of our projects would be peripheral, because we've got the center done and we're looking to pay off the peripheral. I self-scored us, and I self-scored us to 32. If I was to be very critical, our score would be more like 25 out of 50. But again, scored it the way it is. So we're at 32 out of 50. We're going to be asking for 10% of their entire budget. So we're asking for $500,000. So they will. Mark said he will finish up on the 19th with the county, then use the things from the county that are apropos to Stafford to help our application, and then whatever is in the detail from the state on filling out the application, we'll go from there. So I don't see why we won't get it done. I think we did well. That I was surprised how picky they were at the letter of intent stage and how much detail they wanted, but we got past that. So we'll see where we go from there. There's going to be a couple of resolutions I'm going to need if we do get the grant. I need a resolution that we assign part of our $500,000 reserve, it's 400 and some change, to, since we never specified it, and a good example, town of Batavia always has specified their franchise fees as a specific reserve, that we are a distressed county, so we have to have 20% of the total cost, meaning $100,000. But I think if we could get $400,000 to go with it, it could go very well. So we'll see where we end up. I'll keep trying with it. I keep looking at that scoring, and I keep looking at what they've granted, and I'm a little nervous, but let's try. So that's where we are with that. The next due date is June 3rd, so that will be before our next meeting. Again, I'll get it into the level of detail we can, and we'll go from there. I don't think this is a partial credit thing. I think they either take it or drop it. I don't think if we apply for $500,000, they're going to go, yeah, but here's $50,000 to keep you happy. No, it doesn't
All or
work
nothing
that-
at all.
All or nothing. So, and this is a good practice for us. Why not?
None to lose.
No. Time.
Thank you for that.
So, I know we like to keep this an open meeting. I've spoke out against it in the past, I'm gonna say that right now. I take offense to the fact that I'm being told I'm disrespectful when I believe the people that are interrupting our meeting are disrespectful. So, that being said, I'm gonna lift up a resolution. Whether anybody seconds it or not, that's up to you. I'm gonna make a resolution that going forward, that anybody that would like to speak at a town board meeting has to be on the agenda by Thursday at noon with the subject to be talked about. And they have 5 minutes to speak. That's the resolution I'm lifting up.
What's that got to do with questions during the meeting, though? Something could come up during the meeting where you,
It has everything to do with it.
That's my resolution.
Again, maybe I'm just ignorant, but if, as a taxpayer, if I don't understand what you guys are talking about and I want clarity, how do I get that?
you got to be on there by Thursday.
Hold on, how do I get that?
At the end of the meeting, Bob usually asks anybody if they have anything to say. Do you know?
Yeah.
So you want us to wait at the end of the meeting to address topics that are part of the agenda during the course of the meeting?
I'm not gonna say, I'm looking,
I'm not looking to argue.
other towns run their meetings like this, for this reason. I'm a proponent of that, other people aren't, I am. I've said what I need to say. I'm not gonna get into a discussion about it. It's up to the board to decide what they wanna do about it. But a lot of towns run their meetings like that.
And a lot of them don't. Just saying.
So how much influence should a taxpayer have about the direction of the town? Or to understand what's going on within the town? How much input should we have as taxpayers?
You can have a lot of input.
I don't see that though. I mean, all he wanted to do was get some clarity or ask a question, or if I want to ask a question, I don't want to get into an argument. This is a closed meeting. I want to understand so that I can make sure that I fully understand the direction
Have
of
we
the town.
not talked after meetings?
Yeah, but that's not part of the meeting.
We've talked after meetings. Everybody in here knows, well, most people in here knows, that my phone number's posted. People call me. They call me during the month. They called a few of us during the month. We talk about things.
See, we're elected to make certain decisions on the direction that the town goes. That's how it works. We make the decision. And if you don't like the decisions that we make, why, along the first Tuesday in November, you get a chance to vote for somebody else. But it's not government by, it's a representative type. We're elected to make certain decisions, and we do. I've always, if you have a problem with something that we're doing, you say it. Maybe we'll change, or maybe we won't, depending on what you have.
But I guess, not to keep it going, but one of my questions was, why do other people have a right to speak during the discussion of whatever you're discussing, and other people don't?
I'm putting an end to that.
But no, I want to answer why this has been going on.
I can't answer that.
Of course not.
See, this is the discussion that, I made a motion. The discussion should be between the board.
One of the things that we've always talked about is that we have had meetings that were more open than many towns have. Where, let's point to an example. If you recall, a couple of years ago, we had the discussion on land spreading. And we had somebody come in who wasn't invited, wasn't even a member of the town, yet we had him speak and cover what his opinion was on it, because he was representing one of our I shouldn't say representing, he was friends with one of our citizens, and we were able to accommodate that, and we always have been able to accommodate questions, things like that in the past, but I don't know, perhaps it's approach, perhaps it's how the questions are asked that are making us more sensitive.
It's possible.
So, I understand you, to give my opinion, I understand why you would submit a motion, because we are, it has not been, what should I say, as cordial. Our meetings are not as cordial as they have been in the past. Is that a good way of putting it?
Well, I don't see where,
I would like to remain cordial.
I don't see where my question was not cordial. I just asked Bob a simple question if it was a law. And then Mr. Mullen had to get in, or, yeah, Mr. Mullen had to step in.
Again, motion's on the table.
That's, yeah, just keep repeating yourself, if you don't want to answer the question.
Yes, you heard me.
No, that's what I got to throw out there. I would prefer a meeting that allows input, simply cordial.
Yeah. Suffice it to say, there's a difference of opinion here now, as our second Don, as his motion, he put it in the form of a motion. Is there a second? Motion by Councilman Mullen.
I'll second it.
So is it motion or is it resolution?
Hmm.
So we need to type up a resolution for this, or is this a motion?
It'll be a resolution.
It will be, I'll
Yeah.
type up a resolution for next one.
For next month, isn't it?
Hmm?
Next month?
Yeah, we'll put it in the form, no, we can do it on a motion
Yeah,
tonight,
make
can't we?
a motion,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'll,
we can do it
I'll
on a
change
motion
it to
tonight,
a,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I wanna know.
Yeah.
Okay. So where's that? Right there, it's a motion, okay. Okay.
Is there just to try to get some compromise here, is there a time period that you'd like this resolution to cover, or is it here on in, this is how we're gonna do it forever?
As far as I'm concerned, it's here on, and
Yeah.
why would I put a time limit on it?
Yeah,
Just,
That's all.
just asking.
I mean, it gives, if you wanna bring something before the board, and let's say we, okay, the Thursday before the meeting, you present your question in writing. It gives us a time period to study what, whatever
Get
the
an answer.
subject is.
Get an answer.
And then at the end of the meeting, I always say, is there something for the good and welfare of the town of Stafford? And that kind of opens the door, the floodgates to anything else that comes in. But that's, as far as getting on the agenda, it's always been that way, Thursday before the meeting. But we said, well, okay, somebody comes in on Friday, well, you're good. And then on Monday, somebody else comes in and says, I wanna be on the agenda. And then during the meeting, why somebody else wants to be on the agenda, that's how that's always worked. But it would be great, a little easier for us to know, and if there's some homework that we need to do regarding these questions, it gives us a couple of days to do that.
Bob,
Aha.
it's a shame that it has to come to this, because as long as I've been watching the town board, it's is the word amenable? Give and take of the town board, when there's a question of, I don't understand, or why do you do it that way? and it has to come down to this is rotten shame.
Motion on the table.
My thought, Bob, is that when we seem to generate a question from out here, it's not a question that we could have thought of on Thursday to ask. It's in response to something that's been said up there that we'd just like a little clarity.
Well, this is true, and there again, at the end of the meeting, why I can say, is there anything for the good and welfare of the town of Stafford, and then you can do the question.
But at that point, you've probably done your business. And so what we wanted to say or have the clarity about is a moot point at that time because you've already done it. It's just that we'd like to,
Well, if there's a motion on the table to do something, it's always open to discussion.
It's not what she's saying.
Yeah. Oh, it's open to discussion for you guys. That would include us out here?
It always has.
Oh, okay, because I always
No, it
thought that
hasn't.
meant there.
would that be true? Because got the impression just now that the motion's on the table, it's been seconded, and you folks are having discussion, but you've been very kind. We have 1, 2, 3 people have spoken to what's going on right now. And is that what you're going to allow, or is the discussion just going to be there? And then after the meeting, and after you've done your business, and after the fact, we can say, well, what was that about? You know, usually the little questions that pop up come out of our heads, not on Thursday, but right here in this meeting, because we have no idea really what the total agenda is going to be when we come to the meeting.
Well, that's the way I've always run it.
All right.
Suffice it to say, it's different from other towns. It probably is, you know. I mean, so far, up until now anyway, it's worked.
You've been over the seasons very kind to hear a question that pops up.
That's what this meeting is all about. We get together once a month and talk about stuff.
But I asked the question. That's why I can't get through my head. I asked the question and I got knocked down. Did I not? You were right here. Did I not get knocked down?
I don't know that you did.
I can show it on the film if you want. I mean,
You're still talking now.
yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't maybe word it knocked down, but he didn't get an answer.
Well, sometimes you don't get an answer.
Was a law.
Yeah, I got an answer to this is not an open meeting or public meeting. That's the answer I got. But other people ask questions and they got direct answers.
I'm gonna,
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Bob right now.
Well, go ahead. The name's
But I couldn't talk when I'm talking to you.
I'm on the town board.
Okay, talk.
I'm rescinding my resolution. I'm giving my 3 months resignation tonight. Period. Because it's the tone of the meeting. And
But
I'm
you
not gonna
made
sit
it the
here-
tone.
I'm not gonna sit here and take this tone. I don't have to. I'm serious.
But I gotta take it from you.
No, you don't.
I just did.
It's the tone. And Ron said it perfectly. It's cordialness, it's tone. I am.
Okay.
It doesn't matter now, because I'm resigning.
Exactly, it doesn't matter now.
So, enough said.
Was not, okay,
Enough
Bob,
said.
was my question not cordial enough when I asked if it was a law? I didn't say it sarcastically. I turned around and
I've had
said, is that?
enough. No, I've had enough.
The argumentative tone of this meeting has been changed, and you, sir, have changed it.
No, I
Yes,
haven't. I
exactly.
asked the question.
Yes, you have.
Okay, so
Hey,
you
Bob,
said,
I'm done for tonight.
Well,
It's been a pleasure, guys. I'm an elected official, I serve.
okay, you
I don't
said your
have-
piece. We're
I don't
done.
have to serve. I got other places I can spend my
See ya.
time and serve.
See ya.
all right. Where am I here? You got anything you want to?
You know that.
No, I'm good.
All right now.
Pay the bills.
Bob, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
the board needs to know that Steve's crew has worked very hard at the park. That park is immaculate. They have painted the pavilions, they've painted the tables this winter, and if you haven't been there to see it, you need to do that. These guys.
Did you count the staples that you pulled out?
Oh my God, yeah. Andrew's been there, I don't know how many days painting and stuff, so kudos to our highway department for that. Secondly, the program that's down there for soccer right now, they're happy as could be, and they're doing a great job. There's never any papers there or nothing. They're just a fantastic group of young girls, so I don't think we made the wrong decision there.
Quick question for you. Yeah, I've gotten a good pairs of pants torn on those staples.
Yeah.
Should we set up our tables where we have a furring strip on the end of them that people staple to? And then just replace the furring strips every once in a while?
They only do it when it's windy, and and it's always kind of windy there at the park, so I'm not sure that would be an answer. I can't remember, I've only done it for 20 years, and I can't remember ever pulling staples out of the poles or the tables in 20 years. So.
It's been,
Look horrible.
yeah, it's been a long time.
No, I don't remember it ever being done.
I think I did it the second year, which would have been 07.
Yeah.
I I've been there too long too.
Right.
So,
Along the same subject, if you look in the town clerk's office, you'll notice it's been completely fixed and repainted. Barb and her husband volunteered, came in over the weekend, fixed the walls, painted everything.
it's nice.
Nice.
Looks excellent. Well done.
Let the record show that the town board thanks you for your work.
Thank you.
Put that right down, put that right in there.
Above and beyond the call of duty.
Well,
Yes.
I knew it needed it, and I
Do-
wanna work on a,
Do we need a
Authority.
motion for that? I make a motion that we commend Tom and Barb for the work that they did volunteering to improve the clerk's office
Well, I think
through a code of conduct.
Barb just heard that, but maybe a letter should be sent to Tom to let him know.
That's true.
wait a minute.
Ouch.
No, strip the brackets from the walls, everything.
Yeah.
Make sure you tell them, Barb.
I will, I have to now. Thank you. No, I
Thank you.
really wanted, it makes work better when it's clean and bright, and
Oh, yeah.
So-
it helped me.
Based on that, the hallway's looking a little dingy.
No.
Well, we painted everything in here one time, and there's got a lot of grumbling out of it. Oh, this is bad, it looks like a hospital. I heard that comment.
And actually, this still looks very good. When was the last time that office was painted?
Oh, hell, could be 20 years.
Yeah, at least.
It was probably painted when the place was first built, and that's it.
Because there was more stinking holes in spots where you kind of naturally hang something.
There's a lot of holes. But I think it was when Tom moved the rack that has all the pamphlets in it, you could tell there was primer and one coat of paint.
And
In
there's
addition,
now,
I mean, I think it maybe Walt painted it when it
Looked real
first
good
came.
behind the filing cabinets.
and there's now
All
artwork
the
by a
stuff,
local,
you're not knowing what was behind the filing cabinets.
local artist.
What?
There's now artwork by a local artist.
Oh, I hung some of my mother's paintings. My mother with the senior citizens painted, I have a whole box, a big box of her paintings. So I picked a couple up and put them, and they matched the paint well. I brought my mom, she did good work,
Looks good.
so thank you.
All right, where are we here anyway?
Pay the bills.
I think we're,
Ron's gone.
Okay.
we got a sheet on here.
Nothing I can do about that.
You got a
So again, everything showed up on this one.
Did you have to yell so
Please,
much?
Scott.
Sorry.
He's
I've been through a lot the last couple of weeks.
Sorry to hear
I
that.
apologize.
got the.
You got all three.
What is it you need?
But I don't have it. I don't have it.
I did not make copies of what
I'll write
the
it.
total
the
bill,
abstracts were?
of the abstract, I'm sorry.
No, I'll write it on here.
Well, hang on, why don't I do it right next to you so that we can.
I neglected, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I make a motion that we pay capital projects number 5 for a total of $1,475.72.
Second. 1,400, I'll second that.
It's a cheap one.
Yeah.
Okay, motion by Councilman Panic, seconded by, did you
Yep.
second?
Yes, we did.
Second by Councilman Pacer to pay capital projects, abstract in the amount of $1,475.72. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Okay, I make a motion that we pay highway for a total of, highway number 5 for a total of $9,638.84.
Well, that's a cheap one.
Jeez, what'd you do, take the crew to lunch or what?
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilman Panic, second by Councilman Deason to pay highway abstract number 5 in the amount of $9,638.84. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
And along the same vein, we all must be on the diet. I make a motion we pay general fund number 5 for a total of $15,158.72.
Well,
Second.
lean ones.
To the point where the big one is the normal bill for the prosecutors at $1,800.
Motion by Councilman Panic and seconded by Councilman Pacer to pay general fund abstract number 5 for $15,158.72. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. The motion, any?
Hang on.
That-
I think we just lost a councilman tonight. Should we have an executive session to go over what went on here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we can close the
Tom.
regular meeting,
I have one quick question.
okay?
On here, number 7, Mike Anderson, zoning questions about the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Was that discussed?
No,
Mike wasn't here.
He wasn't here.
Oh,
He
okay.
wasn't here.
I didn't know if you
We got
had
a
his
bunch of-
questions.
You know where he lives?
No, I didn't.
Well, anyway, there's kind of one person up there, the place looks kind of trashy.
I think.
He lives
it's taken
right in
care of.
here.
I think you talked to Jerry and it's
Yeah.
taken care of.
Along Route 5?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Right up where the old Golden Poppy used to be. Oh, you don't know where the Golden Poppy is? Oh my God.
Is that where the little bar is now?
I hear,
No, there's no.
No,
no.
I hear Linda
That's
laughing.
That's a.
No, I'm very young, obviously, because I do not
Never been there,
remember the
Linda.
Golden Poppy.
Okay.
Jerry tells stories, but I
Yeah, okay. Sure, Linda.
don't truly.
No, wonderful fish fries. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we live
Very
way
good
down the road.
You're at the other end.
Yeah, instead of,
Phyllis is used to
instead
be
of
quiet.
Mitch's where you went for a fish fry, he was,
Speaking of the Golden
I mean, come on, I'm still on a green card. I'm only here 32 years and I remember it.
Were you asking where we went?
For fish fries?
Did you ask that?
No, I said that's where we went before Stafford store.
Oh,
Was carried.
right, Jerry's stories are all
Yeah.
about the Golden Poppy.
It was a daily visit.
I've beer and burger.
Well, no, they had a special every noon. I was working second shift at the time, so I had my dinner up there at noon every day.
So was it the beer or the burger?
No, well, that was on the way home after work, then we stopped. Yes, are you, yes,
I would like to say I sincerely regret hearing Councilman Mullins' resignation. He has done an immense amount of work. He thoroughly investigates his subject whenever he has something to investigate. And if there's a possible way of bringing him back.
I'm gonna call and apologize. I wanna apologize to all you guys. I've had some rough times with my daughter, okay, she's on her deathbed, and I'm just not focused. And I will call Don, and I will apologize to him about what happened.
okay.
I mean, it's just,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you.
It hasn't been accepted anyway, has it?
No,
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 No, so could you not accept it?
Would need to be writing.
Yeah. Got it.
Anyway,
don't forget, he said 3 months. It's not like he just stopped tonight. So we're fine. Well, let's talk it over a little bit. But that is.
I will call him.
That is wonderful. Thank you.
I know he's probably had some rough times too, but so will I.
yeah, don't we all? All right. Now we're gonna go into executive session.
Just a short one.
Okay. At 8:46.
If anybody wants to come in and see my office, please do. I love it. I'll stay back and see.
Well, I think
Is it for
I'm
when?
happy with it.
I think